Thanks for tuning in to another video. Today I have the Udfine Watch Power, and Udfine is a sub-company of Xiaomi, which I'm sure you heard of. Now, why would you get this watch? Well, first thing I noticed when I took it out of the box is the screen is very nice. The blacks are very black, the colors are really vivid, and they just pop, and it looks like a very quality screen. So I was actually very impressed with the screen quality on this. You could also make and take phone calls with this. There is Alexa built in. There's 10 days of battery life, which is great. You get an ambient sound on here, which you could do manually, or you could have it passively take measurements throughout the day. And you also get a body energy score, which is not always so high for me, but that's okay. Another nice feature is you get running courses on here. So if you go look here, there's a couple of different options that you have. There is a barometer, an altimeter on there, and you also get a compass. So the watch has a lot of great features on it, but there's two things that I'd like to change on it. Watch the video and see if you agree. I want to thank Udfine for supplying this review unit to me, but there was no other compensation for this, and as always, the opinions are my own. So let's talk about the build quality on this. This is built out of aluminum alloy, and it actually looks pretty sharp. You got the microphone there, and the speaker here. And the fit and finish on this is really nice. I wasn't able to find out what the screen material is made out of, but it does come with the screen protector, which we'll get to in a minute. It is IP68 rated, and if you do a water sport, when you're done with the water sport, it will automatically drain the mic and speaker. Now, some watches are IP68 or even rated for 5 atmospheres, but they don't recommend you do any water sports with them, which is odd. But Udfine says that the watch is suitable for various water-related activities, including swimming, diving, rowing, and there's actually 10 built-in water exercises that you can do on this. Now, it does come in only one size. It's a 1.43-inch AMOLED screen, and it does come in your favorite color, as long as your favorite color is black. It does have the mic and speaker that we talked about. It does have 2 buttons here, and these fit very flush against the body here, so no issues with wrist pressing these at all. Very high quality, a nice click when you press them. This feels like a more expensive watch than it actually is. Again, this is the Udfine Watch Power, and some of these features I touched on, and I'm going to go into more detail on all of them. But let me just show you what the box label says. And let's see what's in the box. And we got the watch here that comes with a strap. Then we have a second strap, which is really awesome. That gives you 2 different options. Also in the box is an instruction guide, but don't worry, I'm going to go through everything, so we don't even need to look at it. But then, nicely, you get a screen protector, which is really nice that they include that. And of course, you get the battery charger here with the magnetic pins. And the pins here are actually pretty strong. So that's going to charge. It's not going to fall off if you set it down or something. So that's great stuff. Again, you do get the 2 straps. This one's like a silicone material there, regular buckle clasp. Very comfortable. Then this is the leather strap that you get. Same thing, standard clasp. And just looks a little different. And if you don't like either strap, don't worry. Standard quick release band here, so any 22mm band will go in here. So nice that it's not a proprietary band. So I think this watch is a great value for all the features that you get, and the price for this in the United States is $150. But check the link in the description because there are frequent discounts. Okay, now this is called the Watch Power because it has got some great battery life. So let's talk about the battery. The battery size is 300 milliamp hours, and with one charge you can get 10 days of regular use, 7 days of heavy use, and up to 30 days in power saving mode, but again, then it's just basically a clock. And to fully charge this from 0 to 100% takes about 2 hours. So the battery life that I got was anywhere from 10 to 12 days on this, so actually a little bit better than they estimated, which is actually doesn't happen very often, but it's nice when it does. That was using it all day and using it for sleep tracking every night. That's with the heart rate, stress on, SpO2 on, continuous measurement. And there was some GPS exercises, probably about half an hour every second or third day or so. If you use a GPS a lot, or if you use the always-on display, then you're going to definitely cut that battery life in half. And you actually get a battery manager in the app. Let me just show you that quick. So the app that you need for the Udfine Power is the VeryFit app. This is what it looks like. You can get this from the Apple Store or a Play Store. And I'm going to get into the battery manager here. I'll go through this in a little more detail in a bit, but I just wanted to show you quickly the battery manager. So battery life instructions. So this is what you have. Now, it tells you the things that are using a battery a lot, right? and it just tells you other things that might be using a lot of battery. So if you're not getting the battery you want, this could be what's going on. So sometimes an app just tells you, well, these things are using a lot of battery, and then you have to go find it in the settings and figure out how to change it and toggle it on and off. But for this, it's really nice because it tells you what's using a lot of battery, and then you could just click it. So if I'm not using SpO2, then I could just turn it off right here, which is really nice. Then if we go back here, auto noise detection, let's click on that. I could just toggle it off here. So if there's some features that you may not even realize were on, you could just click on here, find out which ones are killing your battery, and you can toggle them off if you don't need them. Okay, so let's talk about the display here. Again, this is a 1.43 Ultra AMOLED display with an always-on display. The resolution is 466 by 466. It has a refresh rate of 60 Hz, and it has 800 nits brightness. Now, 800 nits is actually pretty good, but I feel like this was brighter than 800 nits. Compared to some of my other watches, I felt that this was very bright and very vivid. I could see it outside very good, and inside, again, it was very bright, no issues with it. Now, I usually prefer to have an auto brightness on here, which this watch does not have. There's no light sensor on here. Now I say I would usually like to have it because in some watches the auto brightness, it keeps the watch screen so dim that I can't even use it. And then I usually turn it off and just put it on manual brightness. So on this, again, I would usually like to have it, but it's not on this one. But the next best thing is that you can toggle the brightness very quickly. So on some watches, if the brightness is not good enough and you got to change it, you have to go into the settings and go 3 menus in to find the brightness and then change it. And this is very hard to do when you really can't see the screen that well. But for this one, I just swipe down for the quick toggles, and I just tap this right here. And you can see there it gets brighter. And then this is the brightest. You can see it's washing out the video here. And then you tap it again, it goes down to the lowest brightness there. And I'm just going to tap it one more for the video. But you can see very easy to toggle the brightness on here. And again, it does have an always-on display. So let me just show you the options for the always-on display. Let's click on here. We'll get into the settings, and I'm going to show you the navigation of the watch in just a little bit. And I'll go into how to find everything. But right now, we got always-on display. Just click on that, and I'll just toggle it on. Now we got the standby watch face, which I'm going to show you, but I just wanted to also show you that you can schedule this. So you can have it turn off at night, but then that will save some battery life, and then you can just have it on during the day. So let's go into the standby watch face. You get 4 watch faces. I'll just start from the beginning here. You get 1 digital and 3 analogs. And you can just see the differences there. You can't customize these at all, but if you just click it, that's what you would get, and that's the always-on display. So they actually look pretty sharp. Now, another thing I'll just show you with the display is the flashlight, which is an app, but, it's kind of the display setting. So let's go into here. So obviously we got a bright screen. Then you toggle it once. You can dim it if you want. And then you toggle it again. It will flash. So if you're going for a run after sunset, you could toggle this on, and this will hopefully make you a little more noticeable and less likely to get hit. So a nice feature there. And then another display kind of feature is your app list. So I have my apps in a nice list here. But if you don't like that, you can actually change it. So let me just show you that. We're going to go into here, go into settings, and we're going to go into app view. And we got the list, which I have, or the dial pad. So we got it like this. It's a dial, and you just kind of spin it around, which is kind of cool. And you don't need to know what all the icons are because right down here, it'll just tell you what the icon is that you're on. So that's really nice. Okay, as promised, I'm going to go over the navigation of this real quick. So if you swipe up, you get your notifications. Then you swipe down, you get your quick toggles. Now you can't edit or add or move these around at all, and this is all you get. So there's only one screen here, and all the quick toggles that are available are on the screen right now. This is the do not disturb. This is the brightness changing right here. This is the raise to wake that you could turn on and off, your flashlight. This is your water lock right here. This is your alarm. This is if you want to put it into battery saving mode. This is find your phone, and this is the settings. This button takes you to the home screen if you're on anything but the home screen. Then if you hit it, it will take you to your app list. There is no double press feature on this, and the press and hold brings up Alexa. None of this is customizable. The bottom button brings up your exercises, and there is no double press feature on here, and if you push and hold, you get your power menu. Okay, I did forget to mention your app list. You cannot edit this at all, so you can't delete any of these apps or rearrange them or anything like that on the watch. You could do a little bit on the app. I'll show you that in just a bit. And if you swipe across here, you get your tiles. And we'll just go through here. And then you get to your Alexa, and then over here, and then if you swipe back, you get to your Alexa. Now you can't edit any of this on the watch. You could do some things on the app, and I'll show you how to do that. But one thing I did notice is that there's no extra information you can get on the widgets here. So if I toggle on this or press it, there's nothing I can get into. So I just get this information, and that's it. But if I go into the app of it, so that would be activity. So let me just scroll to that right here. And now I get that same display, but if I tap on it, then I get more information here. I wish that was available when I just swiped over here and I just tapped it, but I guess that's maybe to make it more streamlined. I'm not sure. But that's just something that I noticed. So as far as the specs, I couldn't figure out what the processor was, or the RAM, or the storage, or anything like that. But it does have a dual-core 2-in-1 chip here, so that does save you battery life. And you do get very good battery life on this watch, so it does appear to work. And that dual-core, what that basically means is that the functions of the watch that don't require a lot of energy just go into the more efficient chip, and things that require more energy get onto the more powerful chip. But this happens seamlessly in the background. You're not aware of anything happening on this. There's no stutters on here. The software seems very smooth on the watch. You're not aware of it at all, but it does save some battery. Let's talk about some connections. You do get Bluetooth 5.3 on this, and it does have a very solid connection, so I didn't lose connection at all when my phone was near me. And you can't pair buds or any health equipment with the watch. There is no Wi-Fi, and there's no NFC, so you can't make any mobile payments on this, and there's no LTE version on this. So you need your phone close by if you want to make any phone calls, because it would be through Bluetooth. And the Watch Power has all the usual fitness trackers. It has the heart rate, the SpO2, and the stress tracking. So not expected in this price range, but it doesn't have any blood pressure measurement, ECG, or temperature sensor. But it does have a built-in altimeter, barometer, and compass. Let me just show you those again. We go into the apps here, and we go into the barometer. And this is the barometer. And then you just swipe up, you get your altitude. And if you're doing any biking or running or anything like that, it will give you your altitude changes. You also do get a compass, same thing, just in the apps here. Just click on that, and this is the compass. And I think it was fairly accurate. There is also another sensor on here, which is kind of unique, and it will give you your ambient noise level. So again, that's in the app list. Let me get into the apps and ambient sound. So now it will do a measurement right now. Manually, I could do it, but I could also turn it on so it gives me automatic measurements in the background, and it will give me a whole graph for the whole day. So mostly this is for your personal information, so that if you are in a noisy environment, you could maybe get some protection that you wear. But maybe you could bring this to your boss and tell him, that it's too loud and you need to work from home. I don't know. Give it a try. The other nice thing about the Watch Power, it does have built-in GPS. It is a 5-satellite positioning GPS, and it locked on very quickly in my experience, and it maintained connection throughout my entire exercise, which is really nice. And that compared to several other watches, and the GPS was actually very accurate. So no issues with that at all. Let's talk about the workouts here. You do get 110 plus sport modes, and you do get smart recognition. So it will auto-detect 4 workouts, and I'll show you how to toggle those on and off. You do get 24/7 health management and abnormal warnings for your heart rate and SpO2. Again, I'll show you that in just a moment. On your workout data, you will get VO2 max, the heart rate variability, and your aerobic training effects. So let me get into the app here and show you where some of these things are. So if you have the settings here, so let me just show you the heart rate. If we click on here, we're going to get the data, and I'm going to show you more of this information in just a moment. But if you click on here, you get the data, and that's for the day. Then you could scroll up here, it gives you a little more information. And then it even, gives you explanations of what's going on. And if you click Show All Data, you can get, more information for each day and click on it. Then again, it gives you all the exact measurements that you had, which is actually pretty nice. It's very detailed information that you usually don't get on many watches. And let's go to SpO2. Same thing, we got our daily information. Again, we can go a week, a month, a year. We could do all that stuff. I could change the day if I want. I could just pick it here, or I could just, click the calendar, just click back and find different things. And then this is the information you get, right? And then again, it gives you some information about the SpO2, and then we could show all data. And then you can see here all the days that I have. And then if I click on a day, it gives me all the measurements that it took, which is, again, very detailed, I think. Now let's go into stress, which is over here. Same thing. Let me just show you the information that you get. You can click More Analysis, and it will just give you more information. There's more information here about breathing techniques and, just information about stress. And then again, Show All Data. So this, click on the day, and then it gives you all the readings that it did. Again, very granular information that's available. Okay, so let me show you the Autodetect here. So we got to go into My Devices here. And then we scroll up, and we got to get into More Settings. And then Intelligent Exercise Recognition. So I have it disabled. These are the ones I could turn on. So I could click on all 4. And obviously we'll do indoor, outdoor running, indoor and outdoor walking. And we got the elliptical and the rowing machine. So you could have these turned on and off if you want. And then we could just save that. Now there's an interesting thing with the app and the watch. So if I click on the sports type, so these are all the sports that I have listed. And I can edit these kind of. So if I go into edit, I could move these around and change the order of them if I'd like. But there's no way to delete these or add any. So basically, I can only rearrange them in the app, which is odd. Usually, you're able to do the most customization in the app. But you actually have to add or delete the exercises from the watch. So let me just show you that. So if I'm in the watch here, I have to get into my exercises. So that's right here. And then these are, if you remember, these are the same ones that were in the app just listed there. I'll scroll down. And then other is not other exercises. If you just click it, this is like just another just open workout. If you're gardening or something like that, you could just use this as your exercise and it'll just keep track of your activity. But it's not, sometimes other means it opens up all your other exercises, but it doesn't here. So we have to go into workout settings and then workout management. So if I click on this, so general is my exercises. So if I click on this, these are my exercises. They're all clicked there. Now I can hold 20 of these. Now, if I want to get rid of them, I just have to click one. Let's get rid of the rower. Now that's gone. Now I have room to add another one. And these are the categories that I have. Let's go into... so let me show you the water sports here. And, you know, this is what's available. Let's add dragging boat racing. So now let me just save that. Now I'm in my device again. Then I'm going to go into more settings, and then sports type. So see, I got dragon boat racing. So it was just added on there. Now, if I don't think I'm going to be using that too often, then I could just edit it. And then I could move this down to the bottom. So that's how that works. It's just a little odd that you could actually customize more on the watch than the app, but that's the way it is for the exercises. While editing the video, I realized that I did not tell you about the step counter or the heart rate accuracy. First off, the step counter was actually very accurate. The daily count was usually less than 1% off to my other watches. And then the exercise step counter was even more accurate. So no issues with the step counter accuracy at all, the daily count or the exercise. The heart rate, there was a little bit of an issue. On my first exercise, the heart rate was actually high and actually very high. So then I just kind of checked what I did. And what happened was the watch was a little loose on my wrist. I usually wear them, the watch is kind of loose, and then I tighten them up when I do any kind of exercise at all. But I wore it a little loose, and the heart rate, again, was not accurate. When I wore it properly, the heart rate was actually perfect. So that actually made a big difference. I feel like maybe this watch was maybe just a little more sensitive to the proper positioning of the watch. So if you are having any kind of heart rate issues, make sure it's tight enough. And I wore it just like this, and it was fine. But if you are having any issues, you could just move it up on your wrist just a little bit. And sometimes that improves the accuracy of some watches. But again, that's for every watch, not just this one. But the heart rate and the step counter was actually very accurate. Okay, now back to your scheduled video. Let me just show you the information you get when you're doing a workout. So let's get into a workout here. And it's a little different for each exercise, but let me just show you the outdoor run. And first, actually, I'm going to show you this. We got a goal on the bottom here. It's an open goal, so that means you just run as long as you want. But if I click on it, I could set my goal. So if I click on this, I could have time or distance, and I could just click the time, and I could change it for however long I want to do it. And then you could also do an interval reminder here. So if you click on this, so you could have a time reminder or a distance reminder. If I click distance, you know, it will remind me every so many miles. So Smart Competitor, this is only available on a couple exercises. But let me click on it, and you can see what's available here. Basically, it's going to allow you to set a pace, and then it will tell you how you're doing. Let me click it on, and I could do the standard pace, or I could customize it if I want. And now I could do, again, change it to whatever I want. If you could see that changing there. So nice extra features that are available. Now, if we hit go here, now it's I'm inside, so it's not getting my GPS, but that's okay. We're just going to start anyway. And then again, the data pages are different on each exercise, but this is for running. Just want to show you what's available here. This is my Smart Competitor. But then you can see all the information that is here. So you do get a lot of information there. And you also do have access to your music, so you could play and pause it, change the volume, or go to the next track while you're working out, which is nice. And then if you want to end it, you just hit stop, but you don't tap it. You got to push and hold it. And if you could see the lines going around it there, and then that ends it. Now, another extra feature that is on the Watch Power is running courses. So this is actually an app. So I go into here, and it's all the way at the top here. Running courses. Let me just click on that. And then there's a couple exercises that you have here. And these are kind of pre-made. You can't modify these at all. And if you just click on the little three dots here, it'll give you information as to what it is. And, speed walk, it'll tell you how many minutes. And kind of basically, it's kind of preset interval training, basically. And there's another one here, an advanced one. You can see what it has. And it also tells you the total time on the top there. So again, that's just another extra feature that's not available on a lot of watches. Udfine also makes several other watches, and if you want to get a rectangular or a square watch face, you can get the Udfine Gear Pro. This actually allows you to check your blood pressure, and it does have a cool second screen on here. I did a full review on this. Check it out in the description if you are interested, and back to the video. So the Watch Power does track awake times, your REM, your light, and deep sleep stages. It also will auto-detect when you are sleeping. You also do get a sleep analysis and a sleep score. So let me show you what all that information looks like. So let me just scroll down here and get into sleep, which is right over here. So you get the usual graph here, and it does have your awake times here. Again, the REM, the light sleep, and the deep sleep. It does have your total duration. And then you get some information here, your average heart rate, your stress, your SpO2, the ambient sound, which is actually kind of a unique feature, right? And your respiratory quality, so that's great. This is your sleep score, which doesn't look so good today, right? But moving on. This is the sleep analysis. You can see here the data that you get. And if you want more analysis, you just click on this. And then again, it just drills down pretty deep here. It gives you a lot of information about your past 7 days. Varies greatly. Your sleep durations here. Your fall asleep time, sleep quality kind of gives you a range of what's going on. And then also gives you some information. As an added feature, you do get some sleep music that will play through your phone, which is nice if you need that to help try to go to bed or something like that. Some of these are paid, but some of them are free. And then again, it gives you information about your, just information about sleep and how to get, gives you some tips and things like that. Then also, if you show all data here, it just gives you, again, a lot more granular information, just like on the other sensors. So if I go into REM, I got 5 segments here. So it gives me the exact times of when my each REM cycle was. So this is very detailed information that you don't get on other watches. Now I compared this to a few other watches, and it's not 100%. But it was generally very accurate and very consistent with the other watches. I think this sleep tracking was very good. The watch does not have a temperature sensor, which might increase the accuracy a little bit. But again, I thought this was very accurate, and it did track everything fairly well. Not 100%, but again, the other watches are not 100% either. Udfine watches are all compatible with Apple and Android, which is really nice. And I'm just going to point out a couple of apps here that I didn't get to yet. So if I go into the apps here, this is the top. We covered most of these here. Push for measurement. This gives you all 3 measurements in one shot. So you're going to get your heart rate, the SpO2, and stress in one reading. It takes about 45 seconds to a minute to get the full reading. Then, of course, you could do individual heart rate, SpO2, stress. You got your body energy right here. This just tracks this automatically based on your activities and your sleep. And, as the day goes on, your energy goes down, which, it's pretty low right now. But, okay, move on. This is our sleep information. Now, on the widgets, I don't get any more information, but on the app, I could just swipe up here and I get more information. Not as much as that was on the app, but I get a pretty good amount here. And then we got some breath training if you want, cycle tracking, the ambient sound. Again, this will get you a manual measurement right now. You could automate this and have it take measurements throughout the entire day if you want. If you want to save some battery, then you could turn this off. In the phone, I'm going to show you that in just a moment here. Alexa, I'll show you that in a moment. The barometer, we went over. You get this. And then if you scroll up, you get your altimeter here. You get your compass. The Pomodoro technique, that's just, a timer basically. You got your event reminder. Another interesting feature is there is no calendar on this watch. On the Udfine Gear Pro, it had a calendar. So I don't know how it got lost on this one, but there is no calendar on here if that's important for you. You got the weather, the music. So this is the camera app here. There is no viewfinder on here. You just get the shutter, and you do have to have your camera app already opened on your phone. But then you set that up, and then you could, step away and take pictures with this. It worked perfectly. You got your alarm, timer, stopwatch, the usual. Your clock, you find your phone works perfectly, and then I showed you that flashlight before. Another thing I just want to show you here, if you do have a timer, and, let's start the timer here. And now, some watches, if you go to the watch face, this will automatically stop. But if I go to my watch face here, you can see that, I have a timer going on in the background. Now, one extra feature would have been if I could just tap on this and it went right to the timer. That would be nice, but that doesn't happen. But it just lets you know there's a timer in the background, and same thing if you had a stopwatch or anything like that, it will just show you that up there. And the timer is running in the background, so you'll get the alarm. But if I go into the timer here and go into the app again, I can see how much time is left. Now, you do get Alexa on here, and it's actually very easy to set up in the app. So let me just show you. The Alexa app is actually very easy to set up. If you go into My Device, and we just slide down here, it's right here in Alexa. So basically, I'm logged in already, but if you just click on this, it will direct you to your Amazon account. You sign in there. It gives you a little code from the watch that you enter once you signed in here, and then it will link it to the watch here, and it works just fine. And basically, let me show you how the Alexa works. It was actually easier to set up the Alexa on this watch than several other watches that I had. Now, to get to Alexa, there is no wake-up word on here. So you got to get into the apps, and you could find it here and just hit Alexa. Or there's a shortcut built in that you can't customize at all, but it's nice that it's already built in. If I just push and hold this top button, it takes me right to Alexa. And now it's listening. What is the weather in London?
In London, United Kingdom, it's 53 degrees Fahrenheit.
Now, if you notice, this is actually coming through my watch speaker. Anything you ask Alexa, you get the answers through the watch speaker. You could use this to operate any smart devices that you have set up through Alexa. You could ask it, for the weather. You could ask it to start a timer, or, any of those things. So it does work perfectly on this. I had no issues with it. With Udfine Watch Power, you get 200 watch faces, and some of them are free, some of them are a charge. But if there's a charge, it's usually like 50 cents or $1, so it's not terrible. And they're very easy to download and sync, no issues with it. There are no third-party watch faces that you can get, so you can only get them from the app. So this is in the device portion of the VeryFit app, and we just go into here, and it'll just show you the watch faces that are available. So there's a bunch of different categories on here, and again, there's a lot of different watch faces. I'll do a B-roll at the end where I'll just show you all that's available. Now, if you want to change the watch face, all you need to do is touch the screen and hold it, and then you'll do this, and then we can scroll through here. Now, you can store up to 10 watch faces on here. And I don't think I said this in the beginning, but it does actually have a nice rounded lip here. So it rounds off nice and smooth, and it actually looks pretty premium. But that's the size of the bezels, just so you know what that looks like. There was no shortcuts that I found. There's no shortcuts on here, so it doesn't go into opening any apps or anything like that. And I didn't see any customizations on these. Obviously, I didn't go through all the watch faces, but I didn't find any. So leave it in the comments if you found a watch face that had some shortcuts on it, or if there were some things that you can customize. So like I said, the watch can make and take phone calls. Let me show you what that looks like. So my options are to end the call, to answer it, but there is no decline with a message or anything like that, which would have been nice. The Udfine Gear Pro does have that option, but it's not available on the Power. So let's end that. And let me show you the phone app here. So we got favorite contacts. You can store your contacts on here very easily through the app. You got the call history, and then you get your keypad. So if you wanted to call somebody, you could just type in the number, or you could just click on your contacts and click on them directly and make the phone call. So you can receive notifications from WhatsApp, email, your Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, any of the other social media stuff that you want. And you actually do get a lot of information. So let me show you that. We swipe up, and we just click on that. And then you can see here, you do get a pretty good amount of text there. It's not like on some watches where you get 1 or 2 lines of text and you can't even figure out what's going on. You do get if it's a long text, you'll get most of it here. So this is the main thing that I would change with the watch. And this is, I think, the biggest con of the watch is that you cannot respond to any text here. There's no quick replies, there's no keyboard, there's no speech to text or anything like that at all. So my only option once I get a notification is just to close it and delete it. Some people like fitness watches and they don't want to be able to respond. They just want to be able to see the notification if there's something important. I wish there was, again, just a quick reply on here would have been nice. That's pretty much the only big con of the watch. Everything else actually works very good with it. So if you could put up with that, then this is a great watch. Now let me show you the speaker volume on this. It actually is pretty loud. So let me get into settings here, and sounds and vibration. And let's get into media volume. And I have it off now, but let me just put it up loud. That's pretty loud, right? And then the vibration is actually very strong as well. I'd say above average. The only issue is that it's just a quick vibration. So if you click it here, your options are, strong, low, and off. And if you're using this as an alarm, you got the vibration, but you also have the audio chime that you can have on there. So for the incoming call, you only have a couple of different options for your ringtone. So that's it there. Got that. So whichever one you want. So let me go into the VeryFit app and let me just show you a couple of things that I didn't get to yet. So this is the home screen. And an interesting thing on this is that you can change the theme. So this is the theme in the background. See those clouds? You could just click on this. So some of these there's a charge. I'll just show you a couple here that are available. And this is going to be basically, that's going to show behind the app. So behind your menu settings here. So these are a couple of things that are available. I'm just going to pick the top one here. And it's free, so we're just going to add that on. And it's set. And now this is, I see my theme changed. So that's kind of cool that you're able to do that. Most apps, you can't do that. So that's kind of a unique feature. There's a couple of things here. And this is all the information that's listed. Now I could have it listed like this, kind of like box style. But if I just click it here, then I get it in line format. So I just get more information listed in a smaller space if I wanted to. And I could also edit any of this stuff. So I could minus anything that I don't need. Like I'll go in here, like blood pressure. Blood pressure is not available on this watch. So I could just click that off and that goes away. Blood sugar management, again, that's not available on the watch. So I could just click that off. Skin temperature is not available. I can click that off. And it'll just make the screen less cumbersome. Then we hit done. This is our stuff here. I showed you the body energy. This is the steps, your sport records, your sleep, heart rate, calorie consumption, all this. You do get heart rate variability, which is nice. The SpO2 and the stress. Respiratory rate, you can enter the drinking water in here, how much you're drinking a day, the VO2 max there, and this is the ambient sound level. Let's get into exercises. This just has some exercises if you want to start from the phone. I don't know why people do that, but you could. And then this is the device. If we click up here, this is where we get into if you want to see if there's any software upgrades. This is the just updates the GPS, so it's a quicker lock. This is the battery life instructions. Basically, that's a battery manager. And then we got the watch faces here. This is notifications. And you could have this toggled on, so when you get a notification, you get a red dot, and you'll get it right on the top of the screen here when you have one. And then these are the settings that you could turn these notifications on or off if you want. So now, if you want, you could just sync it with the phone. So any notifications you're getting on your phone will come to your watch. If you don't want to do that, then you can kind of go through all your apps and pick which apps you want to be notified by and which ones you don't. So this way you can, if you're getting overwhelmed with notifications, you could limit this a little bit. And also this would save battery if you're getting less notifications. And let's go into calls. And we got the call alert, so it will notify you when you're getting a call. And this is your contacts. If you click on this, it will take you to your contact list, and then you can pick which ones you want. Alarm clock, that's just an alarm clock. And this is the health tracking. So these are the things that, again, we have enabled. This is just another place where you could adjust these if you want. The event reminder is if you want to put an event in there, but there is no calendar on the watch. This is an Alexa. There's really nothing to do with that once you set it up. And let's go into more settings. This is where the Autodetect is. And you click on this, you can toggle these on or off. This is your sports types here. Again, you can't add or delete these. You can only rearrange them when you hit edit. If you want to add or delete them, you got to do that on the watch. So Find My Phone, you could have that toggled on or off. I don't know why you would toggle it off. Music control, again, I don't know why you would toggle that off, but it's there. And then, of course, if you raise your wrist, then you get the screen to turn on. You could toggle that on or off. Weather push, this is, again, just getting your weather information. You could toggle that off if you don't like that for some reason. And if you want to edit the world clock, you can. So this is what's shown there, but you could edit them and move them around if you want. And you could also add them. And then the screen brightness, you could change that on the watch much quicker, but it's there. Now the tiles. So this is the tiles. Now you could move these around, you could delete them, but you can't add any new ones. All the tiles that are available are already on the watch. So if you click here, there's nothing else that's there. But if you want to move these around, you could just click here and just move it if you want. And if you don't want, your weather on there, you just hit minus, and then it goes down on the bottom. So now you could add this, but it's just because I deleted it. Now I just hit it and I add back in, and then it's there. And then if we go into my device, I guess it is, or this is a couple of things that are here. Basically, the unit setup, this is where you would change if you want pounds or miles or kilograms or whatever you want. Okay, in settings, there's not too much to do here, but let me just show you. So you could set my goals. You click on here, and then you could, change the goals that you want, and then it will, give you alerts as you get closer to your goal or when you make your goal. I'm not going to save that. And That's all that's available there. So that was the full review of the Udfine Watch Power. Let me just wrap this all up, and I'm going to go over the pros and cons of this quick. The pros. Well, it is a very nice screen. Honestly, it is it says it's only 800 nits, but I feel like it's brighter than that. The colors are very vivid, and the screen does look very nice. You get that ambient sound measurement, which is kind of a unique feature. You do also get a body energy measurement. You do get a barometer, and it can detect your altitude changes. You also do get a compass. You can make and take phone calls with this watch. You get Alexa built in, which is nice. You get 10 days of battery life, and again, I get a little more than that on some cycles. You also do get built-in GPS. And basically, all the features of the watch, they all work very good. There's really no issues with any of the listed features. The software of the app I thought was very refined, worked perfectly. I had no issues with that, and it's a very good value. It's $150 retail in the United States, but there are frequent discounts. So click on the link in the description, hopefully we'll get you a better deal. Now, the cons. Again, there's not too many cons on here. There's only a couple of things that I would change. One is the auto brightness. It would be nice if there was one. The other big thing is that you can't respond to texts. You can't do any quick messages with the phone call, which doesn't bother me as much because I usually would just answer the phone call, but it would be nice if you can decline a phone call and send a message. That would be a nice feature. But otherwise, honestly, everything else worked very good on the watch. You do get a screen protector in the box. You get 2 watch straps, which is really nice. I also did a full review of the Udfine Gear Pro, so click on my channel to find that, and that actually you can check your blood pressure, which is a very unique feature. Check out my channel for other watch reviews and other gadget reviews. I also have some comparison videos there if you are interested in those. Hopefully this information was helpful for you. If it was, please subscribe and like. I'd really appreciate it. Add a comment if you have any questions. I try to answer all my comments, so please, like I said, feel free to ask me anything, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you so much.